We're going to explore this retirement situation here. How long will $400,000 savings nest egg last when you retire and you are single? So stay tuned for the full episode. Welcome back. This is Richard with Wisdom Investor. On this channel, we cover all types of financial situations related to Social Security, investing for retirement, saving for retirement, when to retire, and much more. And today we're going to look at this question here. If a single person would retire, they have $400,000. Will this last a lifetime? Now, many of you are thinking about retirement, or maybe you already are retired. But here's some factors to consider when retiring. You want to think about your health condition, the age of your retirement. What age are you actually going to retire? Are you going to continue to work in retirement? You need to take a look at your expenses and income, and also your life expectancy. We're looking at a chart here that explains how long my $400,000 would last at different rates of return. Here we have 2% yield, 4% yield, 6% yield, 8% yield. And you can see here, if we use, for example, $2,400 per month, you would be able to withdraw $2,400 per month for 16.4 years if your yield was 2%. The larger the yield, generally speaking, the longer your money's going to last. If we had a 6% yield on our money or rate of return, $2,400 per month withdrawal in this case would last you 30 years. Now, when we're talking about yield, we're typically talking about a total return on investments, interest, dividends, net asset value increase. Where do you get a 6% or 8% return? You're certainly not going to get it at the bank. The banks right now are paying about 1%. You would have to invest in a good diversified index fund. Here's a couple examples. Vanguard Wellesley Income Fund. It's had an average return over 15 years, 6.12%. S&P 500 Index has averaged over the last 15 years, 12.99%. Keep in mind, an index fund like this, there's no guaranteed of your results. If you're going to put your money in a CD, certificate of deposit at a bank at 1%, that money would be guaranteed. Generally speaking, the lower the yield that you're going to receive on your money, the lower the risk. If we want to have a higher yield, then we take a higher risk in our investment. We're going to take a look at our first example here. How long will my money last in retirement if I'm a single person and I have saved up $400,000? In this case, we're going to use age 67 as our retirement age. That's the full retirement age for a person born 1960 or later. Their longevity is going to be 20 years to age 87. The first thing we're going to calculate here is our expenses. In this case, the expenses are $4,000 per month or $48,000 per year. The national average for a person in retirement is expenses of around $50,000 per year. Now, there are some states where the average is going to be in the low 40s, and there's going to be other states where it could be $60,000 or $70,000 per year. When we talk about expenses and cost of living in retirement, here's some basic expenses a person wants to take in consideration. You have your essential average monthly expenses in retirement. There's discretionary expenses and then one-time expenses after you retire. So you want to calculate what you think these expenses are going to be. In our case here today, we're estimating $50,000 per year. The next thing we're going to throw in here is our Social Security retirement benefit. In this case, we're estimating a retirement benefit of $2,000 per month. It's going to grow at a rate of 2.2%, which is the average for a COLA over the last 22 years. This leaves a balance of $2,000 needed from the savings. We're going to have to withdraw $2,000 per month to make ends meet. We had $4,000 expenses. We have $2,000 income from Social Security. It leaves us a $2,000 we're going to need to withdraw from savings per month. If we do our calculations here on this, we'll find that the $400,000 would last 30 years at a 4% yield or return on their money. Now, if the money was sitting in the bank at 1%, the savings would still last 30 years. If we go back and look at our chart here for the 4% yield, we can see $2,400 withdrawal from $400,000 would last 20 years. But in this case, we're also adding $2,000 per month of Social Security income, so that gives us a longer life for our $400,000 savings. The first example worked out well. The $2,000 per month plus the Social Security was going to allow the $400,000 to last throughout the entire retirement period. Now, what would be a situation where the savings isn't going to last, or we get a depletion in our nest egg or savings? So let's take a look here. If we have a situation where we have higher expenses, here's an example, $6,500 expenses per month. Social Security in this case is only $1,500. So our net is we need to withdraw $5,000 per month from our savings. The $400,000 in this case would only last 10 years, and that's with the investment earning about a 4% return. Of course, you could invest more aggressively if you have a higher risk tolerance, and that would help some. If you're earning 1% in a bank, the $400,000 would last 9 years. Now, what would be the maximum we could stretch our withdrawal to in this case where we have a combination of expenses and income and still make it work? In this case, we have $5,500 per month expenses, $1,500 Social Security, gives a $4,000 per month withdrawal from savings. The $400,000 would last more than 19 years if we also increased it to a 6% return. Now, we can't just automatically choose an investment that's going to get a 6% return. We would have to have a higher risk tolerance and invest a little more aggressively so that we could get a higher return on our money. Now, if we go back to our chart here and look under the 6% yield category, we go down to $4,000 per month. We'll see that it would last 11.7 years. But we've also added the $1,500 per month Social Security. This allows the $400,000 to stretch out to almost 19 plus years. Our retirement longevity goal was about 20 years here. So if I knew that my $400,000 was going to last close to my longevity time period, I would probably reduce some of my expenses so that I can cushion some of my savings that would last a little bit longer. So in this case, how long is my $400,000 going to last while I'm in retirement and I have to withdraw from it? In this case, $2,000 per month withdrawal along with my Social Security or pension or any other monies I have would work out just fine. $4,000 per month plus my Social Security in this case, it's going to be a stretch. I would possibly shoot for about $3,000, $3,500 per month. There's always going to be something happen during retirement. You got to fix something, some repair, so you've got to be prepared for that. So I hope this information is helpful. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for our next episode.